shareware or?
No, you have to buy it, but it isn't expensive. Okay, first of all, I'm going to resize my picture. So we'll crop it down to the image. Size, there we go. Let's do just a little more. Okay. Now then, there's my picture. And then I'm going to make a new background at 24 by 30.
Which is the layer, of course.
That's a new page.
Okay.
And I'm going to come over and grab this picture now and put it on the middle of this image. And you can resize by doing a free transform to get it to fit what you would like to be.
Was it shift control?
That's actually, you asked me, it's under free transform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Command T.
Okay.
And then you have these little corners here on the edge that you can hold the shift key down so that you don't distort your picture.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then once you get a size that you want, and then hit enter and move back to the select tool, and I'm going to kind of reposition that. Okay, then the next thing that I did was I added a new layer, and I'm going to leave it on top of my photo for right now, and I'm going to take the marquee tool and I'm going to draw a box that's slightly larger than the image that I have up. Okay. And here I'm going to then do fill under the edit menu, and I'm going to choose a color, and we'll make this one blue. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then hit OK, and then deselect that layer. Now then you have this blue layer that you're going to drag it down below your photograph, okay? And then you're going to line it up there, and you can make it smaller and that would again be Command T, and then that gives you the transform handles to change that up a little bit. So this can be as wide or as narrow as you'd like for it to be. And then hit enter.
And you can center the picture anywhere you want.
Yes. Yeah. And so let's say right there. Now then, on this original, let's see what I've got. I had a stroke and a drop shadow on here, so I'm not going to copy it. I'll come back here and create it. So we're going to choose the photograph. No, that's on your color. Under filters, no, layer type, layer style, drop shadow, and you can make it as big or as small. And I reduce the transparency quite a bit because you don't want it to be overpowering.
We're talking about the color itself.
The color of the stroke or the drop shadow. There we go. See the distance I keep fairly close. Spread in fairly narrow, and then the size you can play with that. But opacity, drop that down. You don't want it to be really heavy. You want it to be just a light shadow.
So you got to set it what?
Oh, that's probably about 50 as for opacity, but you can play with that. And then also I added a stroke to that, and let's see where the size is.
So is this capturing everything on your screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It should. We'll see here in a few minutes. And then you're going to just hit you adjust the size to whatever you'd like, and again you can change that color to a different color even if you wanted. You can make it a light blue, and then when you put that stroke in, So you could have multiple things if you wanted.
Right.
But I like mine in black and small. Usually I stay around 3 or 4. But again, that's your choice and your opacity. Let's go back to the drop shadow because I really want it right in behind, directly behind there we go, directly behind the picture. Okay, so that layer's finished. Now then you can, right now just with that looks like it's three-dimensional, like there's something on there. Now then, if you want to add a different color of look for your borders or your edges, or your, then I draw a box here and come back up and do a fill, which that's probably not going to be on the picture. And this time I might choose a pattern and come in and choose something that it will pop in. Okay. Deselect and see that pattern that's in there now.
Right.
And I drop it down in behind. And this pattern, a lot of times I will blur it. I'll go under the filter and go to blur and do the Gaussian blur so that you can soften it. Can't really tell much on that. Let's see if I can get this in bigger. There we go. Okay. So you can make that as detailed or blurry as you want to give that a different look. So then let's say I'm going to stop right there. And then the other thing that you can also do is you can add an additional layer and drop it right on top of that layer and do select all, which is Command A, and do a fill and then choose a color again, and let's say we're going to choose let's go to a tan. Let's write in right about like that. Okay. But this time you're going to reduce the opacity of this layer, let's say 25%, and hit that OK there, and then Command D to deselect. And what you've done is you've put a light color across the top of that texture. Okay, and there you go, and you've saved you about $40.
Right.
And
obviously you're totally unlimited as to what you
absolutely
do with patterns.
you can double layer. You can make multiple colors so that like if you want a three color a triple matte, you just keep piling them on. You can make them as big. The other thing that you can do by doing these layers here is let's take this. You can cut shapes out of your the matte in behind if you want, by select and cut. So you can add designs to it or letters, or just there's an unlimited amount of things that you can do with that. That's what I would suggest.
Okay, now I have made photographs where I put my signature in the photograph.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
You want it right here?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I've done in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I would do is zoom in a lot and again do an additional layer. And
of course you could do it in the picture or outside of the picture.
Yeah, what I normally do is I do it on a separate layer so that I can move it around.
Right, okay.
And let's see, where's my pencil tool, and let's do white. and you can make that as heavy or as light as you want. And then once you've done that, then you can put it. Whoops, undo. I changed. Here we go. Then you can, if you like it better. Come there. There we go. Here, you can reduce it in size if that's too much.
Right.
If you want it to not be quite so obvious, then you can reduce the opacity. Yeah, look at that. So this really opens up a whole different world of finishing your picture.
Does this have a name, this approach?
Oh, I don't know.
It's just called Bev.
It's Bev's approach to Bev's approach to matting photographs. But we did that for some images here in the library that we wanted it on display, to be on display, and he wanted them framed. But they were just going to dry mount and put them up. I go, oh, let's play with it and see. So that's what we did. And then the other thing is, because we put them on foam core, is I just went in and I drew another box and I inverted the selection, which is under select inverse, and then I did a fill here. Where is it? There we go. A fill, and then I put in a black, and whoops, I want a full opacity though. I don't want it reduced. Here we go. So from a distance, it looks like it's framed. And we didn't spend any money on framing. And had something that looked framed. It looked finished instead of just thrown up on the board. So, okay. Any other questions? You think that'll work for you?
No, that's pretty good. It solves an awful lot of problems. Like you say, it saves you a lot of money too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see, where's my Camtasia? And we'll stop recording.